What's up, everyone? Welcome to Celtics Talk Podcast. Kyle Draper, Sherrod Blakely, Chris Forsberg. We are back together, fellas. I think it's been like a couple of weeks or something like that, right?
Been a pretty good couple of weeks, if I do say so myself.
Though, right? I know you missed.
That's one way you can describe it. Not my way, but that's one way.
It's okay to actually be nice to me once in a while, but I'm going to let you slide on that one this week. Let's talk about this upcoming show. Grant Williams, one-on-one with him. We're going to talk about the rookies season so far through 20 games, the quarter point for the Celtics. You know we got to hand out the My Guy of the Week award.
Is that a Freudian slip? I just heard you got to hand out I
know.
I swear, man.
I originated My Guy, like LeBron with Taco Tuesday,
okay.
Ohio State, the Drapes, My Guy. All right, Forsberg, we got Jaylen Brown we got to talk about as well, coming off a huge game against the Miami Heat. Really back-to-back big games. So let's start right there and dive into what's gotten into Jaylen. Where's his biggest growth? What do you think about his play?
What's remarkable to me is that it's across the board. It's not like one thing that Jaylen did this offseason. It feels like he improved his ball handling. He improved his vision. Like, I thought he would come into the season and he would make a noticeable leap. But to not only add, be up at 20 points per game now, even more in this stretch without Gordon Hayward, but to be able to take Jimmy Butler off the dribble, hit him with 2 crossovers, and then hit a 22-foot step back. Like, Jaylen Brown wasn't doing that a year ago. I mean, when Jaylen Brown came into the league, the scouting report was that he couldn't put the ball on the floor and create for himself. And right now he's doing it. And I look at his stat line now, and I know I've joked about it in the past, but it's pretty close to Jimmy Butler. It's getting closer to Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying Jaylen Brown is on their level yet, but I think back, and especially throughout that Miami Heat game the other night, all I could think about was 2016. Wick Grossbeck goes out there and says, with the third pick in the draft, right? The Celtics are taking Jaylen Brown, and everyone in the Garden boos him. Because they wanted Jimmy Butler. They wanted a proven veteran. And now, listen, I understand, because at that point they were sort of like looking for that thing that could put them over the edge. But 3 years later, you sit here and say, damn, like this team wouldn't be in the position it's in if you didn't ride it out with Jaylen Brown, if you didn't make him part of your future. And I just think you have to be optimistic about where this team is going, in large part because of the strides Jaylen Brown has made.
Well, the thing about Jaylen that I just don't think the average fan will understand is that what he's doing has always been in his bag. It's just that now he's prepared himself for the opportunity to showcase it on a night-in, night-out basis. I just remember just talking with Jaylen before the season, and he talked a lot about how you're going to see things from me that you've never seen.
Right.
But I've always been capable of doing. It's just that now there's a clearer, more direct path for me to get on the floor and do those things and not have to worry about looking over my shoulder. He talks a lot about how last season has really galvanized and prepared him for this opportunity. When you went from being a starter to coming off the bench, to coming off the bench with weird kind of minutes, to coming off the bench with significant minutes. He had to figure out, where do I get in? Where do I fit in with this team? And he figured that out. And at the end of the day, it's all about just playing your game, about being the guy that you are, and just living by that old Brad Stevens adage about being the best version of yourself day in and day out. And that's what we're seeing from Jaylen.
Yeah, but it's clear, Sherrod, that he's playing with a freer mind, a freer conscience. Like he said, preseason, he's just going to go out there and hoop. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. And it makes me think about last year, and I know we don't like to talk about last year.
But we do anyway, don't we?
We talk about last year every week.
But how wasted of a year that was, because the team did have the potential. This was in Jaylen Brown. I know he worked on his game, Chris, the offseason. I know he improved his game. But we never had the opportunity really to see this Jaylen. His role never was truly defined. He was coming off the bench. When he made a mistake, he was worried about getting yanked or being yelled at by teammates. And so, I want to know, is this the real Jaylen Brown, and can he get better? Like, what's the next step for this guy?
Sure. So, to roll it back first, the end of last season, no one handled the adversity probably as well as Jaylen did, right? Like, literally everyone is screaming at him for every defensive miscue he makes. I kept saying, like, he should have a show, Everybody Hates Jaylen, because it felt like Marcus Morris is sitting there in Miami yelling at him, almost pushing him, and they had the little dust up there. I think it's notable that among the Celtics stream of players that went up to Kyrie in Brooklyn the other day, Jaylen Brown wasn't one of them.
He didn't
because
give him a hug.
With Kyrie out there, Jaylen Brown's role was stand in the corner, was sort of like a 3-and-D guy who didn't get the ball enough to actually develop any consistency with that shot. This year, they're putting the ball in his hands. His usage rate is up. Like, they have the confidence to let him do those things now. Where again, we didn't see him handle the ball last year. He never.
Right.
I mean, if he did, it was stuck in the corner and then trying to drive on the baseline. It's really neat to see them sort of unlock him a little bit. And I wonder, like, just how much more is there to what he can do. He spends a lot of times working with their assistant coaches on ball handling now. That's been a daily priority. He's one of the last guys in the gym usually shooting. I think he's really committed to making those strides. And I think it takes a few years for guys to realize how much work you have to put in to become better. It just doesn't happen. It's like you said, Drake. He didn't wake up this summer and just be like, oh, I can do this now.
Right.
Like, he legitimately put in the effort to get there. And if he continues to do that, I'm really intrigued to see where this goes.
Yeah, I love the fact that, against Miami, he hit 5 threes, 31 points. This after scoring 28 points against New York.
Is he an all-star?
Fence boy. That's what I'm going to call you, Drafe. Come on, Drafe. Either yes or no.
Yes.
Woo!
I'm putting Jaylen.
Welcome to
If
the
he
dark
continues this, even when Gordon Hayward comes back, I think there's a possibility the Celtics get 3 All-Stars.
I think they will get 3. If they finish in the top 3,
Top 2 or
in the
3,
East,
yeah.
they're going to get 3.
Is he the most improved player in the NBA?
No.
I mean, you could say Pascal Siakam is,
no.
but he's got
That's
an
going to be tough.
opportunity,
Like, he
too.
might actually deserve it.
Yeah.
Like, because Siakam's made another jump, but I think winning last year, that'll deter some voters.
Right.
But, I mean, I think Jaylen makes a really good case.
Jaylen makes a really good case, but when you look at what one of your guys, Brandon Ingram, is doing, he's kind of that guy. I mean, he's getting you 25 and 8.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course.
no one other than Brandon Ingram and maybe Brandon Ingram's family thought he would be a 25-8 guy. Even if that team is bad, he's still producing. But Jaylen is, at a minimum, Jaylen is in the conversation.
It's going to be an interesting conversation. Fultz. Like, I mean,
Fultz is actually
he's
a
starter
productive
now,
member
like-
of a team.
Fultz has become an average basketball
I
player.
know.
You're acting like he's ready to go to Naismith. No, I am not. I don't want to hear
He
about
just
Markel
couldn't
Fultz.
get on the court last
Right.
year.
And now he gets on the court and he's an average player.
He's a starting point guard.
Wiggins.
Wiggins is improved.
I want to see it from
Right, come on, man.
I'm just saying, of all the awards that are out there, I think we know Giannis is going to win MVP unless LeBron goes supernova at some point. 6 man, whatever, give it to whoever scores the most points. You never see Marcus Smart in that conversation. But, I think Jaylen has a legitimate chance in a really interesting category. Like, you could lean so many different ways with that vote. And I think that's one of the more fascinating subplots as the season goes along.
It'll be interesting, no question about it, because Jaylen has done what you're supposed to do, and that is be productive in the minutes that you get and help your team win. And so that alone makes him someone that you got to talk about. But Brandon Ingram, he's playing ridiculous.
He's been balling.
And I'm so anti-Brandon Ingram. I've never liked his game. But I got to give him his props. He's getting it done.
No, you're right. Back to Jaylen, because everybody's talking about the play where he knocked down the jumper, knocked down the 3, then blew a kiss to the Miami Heat bench. Jaylen was asked about that after the game. I'm going to get you guys' reaction here in a minute.
Were you blowing a kiss at anyone in particular?
Yeah, that was for Kelly. I don't know if he was over there, but that was for Kelly.
Have you been talking a little smack?
Nah, that's my guy. That's all love right there. Kelly is my guy. K-Doggy, one of Boston's finest. So every time I get to show him some love, I try to. He said I was going to miss, so I sent that kiss over to him.
Did he see the kiss?
Huh?
Did he see the kiss?
I don't know. He felt it, though.
All right, so he says it was for Kelly Olynyk or whoever was there. I don't know. And he called him K-Doggy at that. I like the love between those two guys.
I like the love, and I like the way that Jaylen deflected from who that was really aimed at. That wasn't aimed at any one player, any one team. That was aimed at everyone who said, Jaylen, you're no better than a 3-and-D guy who sits in the corner. Kyrie was right. You belong in the corner, and you shoot when you get those 3 or 4 attempts a game, and you should be happy with that. And Jalen's like, nah,
It's
I'm
funny.
better than that.
It's funny because that first one, he caught it in the corner. Justice Winslow was all over him.
Good defense.
Oh, yeah.
And he just kind of swung his body, got a little bit of space, and made it. And then that's when he kind of glared at the Miami bench. The next one, he got a good screen. Kelly was late getting out there, which is why it's even more hilarious for him to suggest
was late
that he didn't know
getting out
that he didn't know Kelly
Never happened.
was the one where Kelly was on the court, because he was the one racing out to try and contest. And then he kind of the chef's kiss too, the mwah.
Right.
And listen, his games deserve it. I like that little bit of bravado. Again, people booed this man. Like, that's a little bit to the fans as well. Like, hey.
Even this offseason, the contract and everything, people were thinking it was crazy. And so,
So one last thing on Jaylen.
Yeah.
Are we worried at all when Gordon Hayward comes back?
Nope.
Is there enough? Is
No.
there enough basketball? to
Yeah,
talk about?
we saw it when Gordon was playing.
I was going to say,
he was
yeah,
playing at a high level.
To me, the only concern I have is Gordon just really focusing on just doing what he did before and not trying to do too much, because Jaylen is going to keep doing what he's doing. And I think Jaylen figured out last year the cheat code. That's it. Just do what the hell you're able to do. And don't try to do any more. Don't try to do any less. Just do that. If Gordon comes out and he's trying to get everyone involved but not shooting, that's bad. If he's trying to take every shot he gets when he touches the ball, that's bad. Have that balanced all-around game. That's why you were so good for this team, and frankly, you were putting up all-star caliber numbers.
Guesses on when Gordon comes back?
I'm going to say not the Philly game, because that's a high level to jump right back right after that.
So there's
Thursday,
a 5-day break after that, and then it's in Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas maybe. I think, that Dallas game, which I'll be there for, so maybe that'll be...
You get your shoulder checked out, man. Patting on the back, man.
Hey, somebody got to do it. You boys aren't going to do it around here.
It's funny because we all said when they said 6 weeks, we said, oh, maybe Christmas. Like, that's
Right.
the day he'll get back out there. But, like, 3 weeks in, here he is. We've seen him out there. He's done media, like, 4 times this week.
Yeah.
You get the sense that he's going to jump into a practice this weekend with the team. I don't think there's any ruling it out that once
Maybe
that
next
goes, if he
week?
feels good, offhand, like, you can tape it up, cast it up, whatever you got to do to give him a
Indy
little
or something
protection.
like that?
Indy is what I'm pulling for.
The game that makes me wonder is Indiana. Back home,
Back home, yeah, very
that's
nice.
tough. That would be tough to play them back-to-back. 2 nights in a row coming off the
you got
hand.
Philly, yeah.
Can you get away with that? I don't know, but it seems like he's chomping, and they certainly need his offense.
And I think he's shown that he's ready to take that next step, not only because of what he's doing, but just the comfort level that he has about talking about his status. Because you remember, the last couple of injuries he's had, he ghosted everyone.
Right,
you see him out there, hey, Gordon, and then where'd he go?
I do want to talk not about Jaylen, but just the offense, really, because I feel like Jaylen's being the beneficiary of everybody keeping an eye on Kemba or Tatum. And Jaylen admitted it, that teams are blitzing those 2 guys, and he's taking advantage. Here's part of that.
Just being more comfortable with the blitz. They're blitzing Kemba and blitzing JT, so just being aggressive out of that because they got it's 4-on-3 on the backside, and I'm just trying to be aggressive.
Is that something you can learn from watching film, or is it just a matter of being out there on the court?
Being out there, but also watching, seeing it and getting more comfortable with it. The last few games, people have been blitzing the same way, so just being aggressive out of it and trying to make plays. And hopefully, if they continue to blitz, I'll continue to make plays. But if they stop, then it'll open up guys like Kemba and JT on some of those screens.
All right, so Jaylen's taking advantage of it. You get Gordon back, and he should, right? And so what about Tatum and Kemba, their willingness to be that passer? You know what? Take on the double team to set up other people.
Well, I went into the season thinking that this was going to be a career year for Kemba as far as assists are concerned, because I look around the guys that he has to play with compared to the guys he's had in the past, and he should be a 7-8 assist guy. But here's the problem. Teams are blitzing him, and he's wisely getting the ball to the next man who can get buckets to Tatum. Right, and so Tatum, to me, he's been the biggest revelation in all of this, because I did not think he had this level of passing in him, because we had not seen it at Duke. We didn't see it, his first year in the league. Yet he has been the one guy that I think has really been just the catalyst to this team being so difficult, more of a pick-your-poison type of offense because of his willingness to give the ball up, knowing that at some point teams are going to stop blitzing.
I do want to check the hockey assist numbers for Kemba because initially when teams blitzed him, I think he was trying to force a little bit too much, and now he's just sort of accepted it. Like, the quicker I get it out, the next guy whips it to someone in the corner. They're getting open looks all over the place, which is part of the reason I'm not overly concerned about people finding shots when Jaylen and Gordon are back out there. And, it's part of the reason Marcus Smart was shooting such a high percentage at the start of the year is if you got to put all your attention on those other 4 guys, like Marcus Smart can just run around, find soft spots, jack threes, and be content with that. And so I think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see a lot of the three-point percentages start to rise. They're just going to have too many weapons out there, and teams are going to have to pick their poison. And, okay, you're not going to blitz Kemba tonight? Good luck, because now Kemba's going to try to go off. You want to take a body off of Tatum? Tatum can attack. I'll be fascinated to see if they can sort of harness the hot hand and harness the let's take advantage of what the defense has given us. If whoever you want to take away, we're going to find the other guy.
Yeah, very unselfish team basketball. Sort of. This is what Brad Stevens, I think, has always wanted to run.
Yeah.
And, when you have a guy like Kyrie who has the ball in his hands and dominates so much, even Isaiah Thomas, too, because of the level of talent around him, you had to have the ball in his hand. This is the most talented team, I think, that, Brad Stevens has had in terms of playing at the level of talent that they have.
Well, he's got players that can dominate without being a ball dominator. Kemba's going to get his points, but he doesn't have to dribble the ball 14 times before he gets his shot off. Same thing with Tatum, same thing with Brown, Gordon, you go down the line, and it makes it very difficult to defend them because if they're swinging a ball like that, you got to keep moving defensively. And over the course of the game, and I thought we saw that against Miami, it wears you down defensively, where all of a sudden that closeout that you were killing in the first quarter, you're like 3 steps late, a la Kelly Olynyk, in the third or fourth quarter.
Hating on Kelly.
I love Kelly.
Like
You know who else should get some open three-point looks?
Who?
Grant Williams.
Is that a good thing?
Should be.
No,
eventually.
Grant's going to knock down threes. The
I
shot
love
looks
Grant.
good. It's not like, he looks off.
It reminds me of just Marcus Smart those early years where you see the shot go up and it looks good, but for whatever reason, it's a little too far to the left, a little too far to the right, a little short. He's just, and Grant, and I don't know if he talked to you guys about this, but he has actually looked at every single missed shot, knows exactly what happened on every. We had a conversation about that in New York, where he broke down every single missed three-pointer he's had, and he said there's only been like 2. He said there's only been like 2 that were really just bad. Others have been inside the cylinder, slightly off here or there, so he's not worried. And his big thing has always been, can I help the team win when I'm out there? Not can I make shots. And to his credit, he has been one of those guys who does a lot of positive things out there when he's on the floor.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Grant in a minute, a one-on-one interview. But I want to talk about the current state of the team here just for a couple of minutes, guys. Through 20 games, they're 15-5. I think
Drapes, you did not see 15.
Nobody did. I'm okay with saying that.
Just making sure.
With that being said, are they any more of a championship contender, though? Are they ahead of Philly for sure when it comes playoff time, I'm saying? Or Milwaukee for sure? Because I always had them as the third team in the Eastern Conference, and I still think I sort of have them there, but it's maybe closer now that the 3 are bunched up a little more.
Milwaukee is playing really good basketball against really bad teams. Which is what you're supposed to do if you're an elite team. So Milwaukee's a hard one to really gauge where they're at now because they really haven't had that many teams that have challenged them. And the Celtics saw them early on in the season, and the Celtics spotted them, 15, 16 points and came back and beat them. Philadelphia is the one that they've been just a really bizarre team this year. I mean, when you start looking at Joel's numbers, they're down on almost every significant category. You look at your boy Ben Simmons' numbers. I know he's shooting 33% from three-point range, 1 for 3, but he really hasn't been, I think, that offensive catalyst that they're accustomed. His defense has been slightly better, but overall, they feel like a team that has a good record when it should be great. And so I think the Celtics, right now, they're going to be in the conversation because they're playing good basketball. But if you really start breaking down the Celtics team, they still got a lot of levels to go before you can really see them at their true essence.
Philly's a hot mess right now, but I am not worried at all.
What do you see, Forsberg? I got to stop you
Philly
because
native,
it's
Philly
all
native.
about the
Philly
narrative.
alert, Philly
it's all
alert.
about perception. The Sixers are half a game behind the Celtics right now.
Yeah, but
We're
And they should be like
pegging the
3.5
Celtics
games ahead.
as no, but think about it
you watch
though.
that team and say, "Oh, that's what I expected."
But that's what scares me about Philly. They aren't
I'm
playing
with
well
you.
at all right now.
But
they
Drake-
aren't. If they're a hot mess, but yet they're a 15-6
yes,
hot
I mean
mess.
that's what should
Think
worry
about
Celtics
that.
fans.
Drapes,
That's
is
scary,
but
right?
Drapes, is that more about the talent or is that coaching?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's about the talent. It's about the talent. Because on paper, with little to no coaching, they should be right where they're at. And that, to me, is the concerning part about Philly going forward. I'm not sure Brett Brown can get this team to where they need to be. Because the talent is there. They are good enough to be the last team staying in the East. Well, I'm not confident. And Drapes, I know Philly's your hometown, but there's a lot of Philly folks who feel the same way about Brett. Lovable guy, like what he's done there, but I'm not sure he's the guy that can get them over the hump.
But so if they get to midseason and it's just clear that it's just not coming together, they'll have a good record, but that they know that they're vulnerable because they'll make a coaching change. I know
I know, but
I'm
I
not
agree with you.
I'm just not worried about it. I
Mid-season
think they're going to
coaching
be there.
change. Who do they have? I don't. Monty Williams not there anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
They can find someone that can at least give them a little jolt, change just give them a little shake up if they just need it. But I think ultimately talent wins out. And as a Celtics fan, I think you just have to sit there and say, man, if they ever figure it out, like they're going to be just so
I think
dominant.
I think it's a tough matchup for the Celtics.
Yeah.
What Philly does
big man.
the best, they're big guys. Even Al Horford, his impact, big guards also.
And they got some good wings
they got good wing defenders. All right, let's get into this conversation with Grant Williams, the Celtics rookie. I was able to sit down with him one-on-one. But before we get to that, remember, at CVS Health, where pharmacies are just part of what they do, from home care managers to administering intravenous treatments in patients' living rooms, they bring care to those who need help most. From refusing to sell tobacco to making all their own skincare products, paraben-free. CVS Health knows what you don't sell is as important as what you do. And when you put people at the heart of health, people take health to heart. CVS Health, where health is everything, not all services available in all states. We're going to dive right into it with my guy, Grant Williams. Grant, thanks for joining the show. You excited for this?
Very excited.
I got some hard-hitting questions for you. I hope you're ready.
Hope so.
All right, let's start with the season so far. Here you are, 20 games into your rookie year. Tell me how it's going for you.
It's going well. 15-5, I believe, right now. So we're producing at a high level, and we're competing every single night. The 5 games we lost, we were very competitive in, and we wish we were 20-0, but we're just taking it day by day, and we play a talented Denver team tomorrow, so we have to be prepared for whatever happens.
You played in a tough conference, the SEC. What's been the biggest adjustment, would you say, coming to the NBA, though?
I think the biggest adjustment is just the talent of people here in the NBA versus in college. Every single night you're playing against a guy who's considerably the best player on his team, or the National Player of the Year or Player of the Year of their conference. And you have to be prepared no matter who you're playing against, whether it's the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. So I feel like that's the biggest adjustment, and getting used to defending that every single night, because there's no days off, no matter if you're playing against LeBron James or if you're playing against somebody that no one's really heard about coming up from the G League one day.
Everybody got talent, no doubt, in the league. Now, in this league, it seems like so many people focus on scoring. What's been your focus, though, these first 20 games?
As you've said, winning.
Yeah.
For me, it's nothing about statistics really gets me going. It's more so about how it goes at the end of the game, how we produce, and if I'm impacting the game and helping us win. If I'm not doing my job, then I'm not fulfilling my role, and I feel like I'm letting the team down. So for me, it's always been about making others better and making sure that at the end of the night we can go home happy rather than sad.
Now, I know some of the guys have joked with you about your three-point shooting. Does it get old, though? Are you like, all right, guys, I'm going to hit one soon. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, it's funny. They're getting creative. Brad's gotten names for every number I've gone up. So it's gone from dub to legal, because I was 0 for 21, so I'm legal now. So just going keeps time. Hopefully I can knock one in, so then I can start a streak of makes where they can say the same.
Right, keep it going the other way, right? All right, let's talk about some of your teammates. Which vet do you lean on the most, would you say, with this group?
Definitely Smart. He's a guy that has been there for me throughout the entire year so far, and very welcoming, as well as guys like Kemba, JT, and basically the entire team, Gordon, because this team has a great chemistry about us, and we try and keep every day happy, and every day is coming in with the mentality that we're not only getting better, but we're also making each other's days better.
Tell me about your relationship with Smart, because I think he calls you his mini-me or something like that. I don't know if you saw some of the memes that some of the people have put out there. I'm going to show you this one here.
Oh, dear.
Check that one right. How does that work? Because you're actually bigger than him, though, right?
Yeah. Just like when people you have an older brother and they say you're a little big brother.
Right.
That's how you kind of look at it. But he's definitely been a guy who's just instilled wisdom in me, because he's been through it. He's gone through the tears of a long season, as well as being in the position that I'm in. Whether I'm playing a ton that game or not playing at all, he's seen it all. So just keeping my spirits high, and also keeping me engaged, and understanding that it's a long year and you have to continue to produce the way we have.
So we asked people to submit some questions for you out
right
there in the Twitterverse, Celtics fans. We're going to get to some of them right here. Who's the hardest person on the Celtics to make laugh? Players, coaching staff, who's that dude that's always serious and you're like, bro, lighten up, it's okay, we can have fun?
In all honesty, I don't think I've had an issue making anyone laugh yet. Just because either I'm trying to be funny, I make them laugh, or I'm not trying to be funny and I still make them laugh, just because of my personality and my goofy character. But Who's the hardest one? I would say one of the coaches probably.
Really? Okay.
Maybe Jerome.
Jerome, that's what I was going to say.
I
dude.
get Jerome sometimes too because like there's times where there was one time he said, "Grant, stop snitching," and I said, "Well, Tice was on that." And got him to laugh.
So you
after
snitched on
that.
that?
Yeah, Tice snitched right after he said, "It's not stop snitching."
All right, if you could go into space with one Celtics teammate, who would you pick?
I gotta get somebody creative.
Right.
Somebody who knows what they're doing, innovative. Actually, Gordon, because I know he probably will just relax and take things slow, and then he'll be able to get the job done. I feel like
He'll be able to handle himself
unless
up there.
the aliens are on the planet, on the moon, whatever. Then I have to take Smart because he'll be a guy that's running around like a Viking out there.
That's the thing. I would pick Smart for everything because I feel like, if you need protection, Smart can handle it. If you need somebody to go hunt for food, Smart could be that guy.
That is true. That is
Smart
true.
could do anything at any time.
He can be anything he wants to be. He can fly if he decides to.
All right, so I got a question here about Taco Fall. What's something you discovered about Taco through your new friendship with him?
Honestly, just how similar we are. We're two people that enjoy the same things, whether it's anime or just goofing off and video games, and we've similar tastes in music. So he's a guy that I can call my brother right when I met him, which was really nice, and I can rely on him for a lot, and he relies on me as well.
You mentioned music. Are you always listening to music before games? Like, is that, do you play something to get you hyped?
For sure.
What is
I'm a big-time music guy, and it changes daily just by mood or what I've heard. Maybe it's a throwback. Maybe it's just something that I want to see Hamilton. I've listened to Hamilton to past 3 or 4 days, the soundtrack. I actually shot around with it, and JT walks in. He's like, "What are you listening to?" I said, "Oh, it's Hamilton." And he's like, "Get your mans, man. Get your mans." So I was like,
No, but hey, when you're the son of a NASA engineer, and your dad is a music background as well. You got a lot of different interests, no doubt about it. One thing that I heard you did, you gave out candles for the holidays. Explain that to me. Explain it. Most people give out Beats by Dre or something like
if
that.
I ever get to that point, I might be able to do something like that. But I know that for candles, for me, they always put me in a great mood. They are relaxing. They can change your emotion after a long day. So no matter who you are, I feel like it's a small token of just showing their appreciation, and allows, especially during the holidays, to be able to go home and just have something where you say, I feel appreciated. Also, I get to relax and have this great scent in my apartment. Maybe, didn't get to do laundry that day, or burnt some food or something like that. You never know. So hopefully I don't end up making somebody, burn something down. But
you put some thought into that gift, though. You know what I mean? You didn't just hand out T-shirts and not like
not
you really
at all.
thought about that.
I did because, I don't know, I love candles, and it's always been something for me when I go home, and I'm just like, you go to my apartment right now, and you'll see like 80 candles just
You ain't
sitting
got no
around.
Ouija board up there or anything like that.
No,
All right,
Ouija
just
board.
making sure.
Just the candles.
Well, somebody asked this question. Arm wrestling tournament within the team. Is it Shimmy that takes it hands down, or somebody else put up a fight?
There might be some fights in that one because, Smart's going to find a way to win, whether he's having someone tickle your neck or something like that. He's gonna find a way to move on to the semifinals. And then G might be up there because Gordon,
get out of here.
You got to realize he was when he was out that whole year, all he did was lift arms.
Oh, all right.
So he's a top heavy dude.
Right.
You look at him now, he's big up top. He's walking around with his chest all out. Next thing you know, he comes back skinny legs. So
that's funny.
Myself and Shimmy and maybe Ennis. Oh my gosh. Ennis might be able to have that one. Ennis just all he does every day in the weight room is curls anyway. So he might be able to win that one.
All right, man. Before we let you get out of here, favorite pizza topping? Everything.
Favorite. I was about to say. I feel like anything, whether it's sausage, pepperoni, all those guys. Yeah. For me, I'm not really I don't do pineapple on pizza. No.
No pineapple on pizza.
I'd rather have
That's
barbecue.
like a great debate going on right now.
Definitely not a thing. I don't believe in it. I'm not a big advocate of that one.
Nothing sweet on there. You know what I mean?
No, if I want something sweet, why would I eat pizza?
That's true. That's true. You want something greasy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need something like that.
That's good stuff, man. All right, one last thing. Rest of the season, what are you trying to accomplish out here?
For me, it's just about making our team better and winning.
Right.
For me, it's how we end up at the end of the year. We have all the talent in the world to be where we want to be at the end of the year. So The biggest thing is however we make an impact, and whether that's consistently playing and being a guy that's vocal and a leader out there, or just a guy that is supportive and is in that role where he's there for his teammate no matter what.
All right, my man. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, Grant Williams, everybody. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, this is Tom Haberstroh, your NBC Sports National NBA insider and host of the Haber Show podcast. You got to listen to my latest conversation with Gerson Rosas, the man who is behind the Minnesota Timberwolves overhaul with 2 #1 overall picks, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. Go behind the scenes to learn how he plans to make them a future perennial title contender just like his former team, the Houston Rockets.
It was hard to leave Houston without completing our mission of bringing a championship to the organization.
So check out The Haber Show wherever you listen to podcasts. That's HABERSHOW.
All right, before we get out of here, my guys of the week. I don't know if you guys have thought about it or not. If you have one, I'm sure I know where Forsberg is going because he always takes the low-hanging fruit.
I took Brad Wanamaker last week.
Oh, did you really? All right. So who you got this week then?
Well, I mean, I wanted to fall to Jaylen Brown because he's been great. But that would be too easy. So let me think who I would go with. You know what? I'm giving it to Shemming. Okay, I know. Listen, I'm going one game here,
Right.
but it's too easy to default because when you look at the box score from that Miami game, 75% of the scoring was Jaylen, Jason, and Kemba, and that's going to be what happens a lot of the time this year until those bench guys get going. What I liked about Shemming was that he's played sporadically. Everyone's sitting there saying at the start of the game, oh, maybe he'll get the start without Marcus Smart out there. They go with Grant instead. Shemming doesn't even get on the floor in the first quarter. I'm thinking, what's going on? Is this guy going to get a chance? Is Brad just totally out on him? And he plays him 25 straight minutes. And I know there's halftime, but you go out on a basketball court and you try to run around for 24 minutes, 26 seconds, and tell me how you're feeling by the end of it. Shemming was plus 21 in that span. Birthday boy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give him my guy of the week.
Shimmy was my guy, but my next guy is the guy I'm going to go with, and that would be Brad Wanamaker. Here's the thing about
Brad Wanamaker is running up the guys of the week.
I'm telling you right now, Brad Wanamaker in 20 games has played more minutes than he did all of last season. Mm-hmm. He has been an impactful player as that backup point guard. He's made big shots for this team this year. He's been a steadying presence at both ends of the floor. Now, he's not setting the world on fire. He's not going to go out there and get you 20 points. But what he's going to do is make sure that the ship doesn't sink under his watch, and that is exactly what you want your backup point guard to do. He's done that consistently, even though everyone was shouting for Carson's going to be the backup point guard. Carson's going to be the backup point guard. Not so fast, people. Brad Wanamaker, that's my guy.
No argument there. He's a Philly guy. He's my guy also. So anytime you want to mention Brad, that's all good for me. I'm going to go with Kemba Walker. And here's why. I see the puzzle.
You mean the leading scorer in the team? Okay.
No, but you know why?
You hit on me for low
because Kemba not only has stepped his game up earlier in games. Remember earlier in the season we were like third quarter Kemba, fourth quarter Kemba. He's been second quarter Kemba. And when teams adjust to him, he's been a willing passer. So he's drawing the double teams and making that hockey assist. Yeah. Do you guys know through the first 20 games, Kemba's only led the team in scoring 6 times? Think about that.
That's great.
As great as Kemba is, he's been a willing facilitator, a willing teammate to let other guys have his shine. We haven't always had that here in Boston. And so I think, you know what, kudos to Kemba for letting Tatum and Brown do their thing as well and being okay with that.
Well, he was special against Miami. I mean, he had 17 points, 4 assists, 0 turnovers at the half, shooting 5 for 10 from the field. Those are numbers that you don't see from Kemba Walker in the first half of the game. So he's figured out how to be impactful not only throughout the course of the game, but really, as you pointed out, earlier in games as opposed to being second half Kemba, which we saw the first 10 or so games of the year.
I'd also like to give my guy to Kyrie for typing out 309 words on Instagram.
Dude, I'm still trying to transcribe that. My gosh, that was a lot, dude. I mean, I was trying to dive into that and be like, what is he talking about?
No, I don't know.
But no, I said I was done talking Kyrie.
Yeah, that's right. But I just wanted to give him a shout out. I mean, listen, there's not a lot of things he can bring joy to Boston fans right now, but seeing 309 words typed out.
See him March.
The Nets are pretty happy with him too.
They're winning now.
They're 7-3 when he doesn't play. So they're cool with him resting that show. They got no issues with him.
All right, man. I got things to do. I can't hang out with you guys all day and night. Thanks again, Grant Williams, for coming on the podcast. Jaylen Brown, great sound from him after that Miami game. For Sherrod Blakely and Chris Forsberg, I'm Kyle Draper. Go out there, subscribe to this podcast, like it, leave a review. We'll see you next week on the Celtics Talk Podcast.
We're out.